All right, buckle up. In the next few minutes, we're going to dive into the surprisingly wild and epic story behind country music. So you think country music is just about trucks and heartbreak? Well, think again. What if I told you its story is actually packed with rebels, innovators, and epic showdowns? Kind of like your favorite movie or video game series. Okay, so to really get country music, we've got to go way back. We're talking the early 1900s in the rural southern U.S. Back then, music wasn't just, for fun. It was how people told stories about their lives and, honestly, just got through the day. So what was in the original country music starter pack? Well, you had your fiddle, your banjo, and an acoustic guitar. Super simple, portable stuff that immigrants brought over from Europe and Africa. And the lyrics? They were basically about real life, everything from a tough day at work to family drama. But how did this sound, born in small towns, suddenly blow up across America? 2 words: the radio. Yeah, this brand new tech took the music from local barn dances and blasted it out of the mountains and into homes all over the country. It was a total game changer. All right, so the sound is spreading. But how does a local musician become a superstar? Well, you need a giant platform, right? A place that can make you famous, like, instantly. And in 1925, that's exactly what happened. This radio show called the Grand Ole Opry kicked off in Nashville. And what's crazy is it's still on the air today. That makes it the longest-running radio show in U.S. history. Seriously. The best way to think about the Opry? It was like the original For You page for music, the ultimate algorithm for going viral. If you got to play on that stage, bam, millions of people instantly heard you. It's still one of the biggest deals in country music to this day. And the Opry is exactly what helped launch superstars like the one and only Johnny Cash. You've probably heard of him as the Man in Black, right? Well, that wasn't just a fashion choice. He wore it for a reason, as a symbol to show he stood with the poor and beaten down. His songs were all about their struggles, about fighting for justice. Okay, so the music's getting super popular, but that means it also has to change. Think about it. You're in a packed, noisy bar in the 1940s. Are you going to hear a quiet little acoustic guitar over all that chatter? No way. Something had to give. The solution? Plug it in. Musicians grabbed electric guitars and created this new style called honky-tonk. It was way louder, a little rougher around the edges, and had this awesome beat that was perfect for dancing. The lyrics got grittier, too, talking about real-life problems. All right, fast forward to the 50s and 60s. This is where things get really interesting. A brand new sound starts coming out of Nashville, and the goal was to make country music more mainstream. Think of it like a huge studio giving your favorite indie movie a big budget reboot. So what did they do? Producers started smoothing out all those rough edges from honky-tonk. They added backup singers, smooth strings, all the stuff you'd hear in pop music at the time. Why? Because they had to compete with this new little thing called rock and roll. And this created a massive showdown. It was like a civil war in country music. In one corner, you had the slick, polished Nashville sound. And in the other corner, a full-on rebellion called outlaw country, led by guys like Willie Nelson and Waylon Jennings. They were all about keeping their music gritty, real, and totally independent from the big studios. And right in the middle of this whole battle, you had some absolute legends just doing their own thing. I mean, Dolly Parton, who came from nothing and became a global icon because of her genius songwriting. And you had Loretta Lynn, who wrote these incredibly honest and controversial songs about what it was like to be a woman. Some of her songs were so real, they actually got banned from the radio. How wild is that? Now, while all this drama was going down, there was another whole scene happening called bluegrass. And honestly, the best way to describe it is the esports of country music. It's all about pure, insane technical skill. You've got these musicians just trading these mind-blowing, lightning-fast solos on acoustic instruments. It's incredible to watch. So here's the big takeaway, right? Country music has never been just one thing. It's always been changing, always evolving, and always soaking up new influences from the world around it. And I mean, you can see the whole journey right here. It starts with that folk storytelling, then cranks up the volume with honky-tonk, gets all polished with the Nashville sound, rebels with the Outlaws, and that brings us all the way to today, where it's this crazy fusion of pop, rock, and everything else. And that evolution has paid off. Today, country's a massive global thing. It's not just in the US anymore. There are huge fan bases in places like Australia, Canada, the UK, you name it. And it makes sense, right?
Because the themes, family, love, just trying to make it, that's stuff everyone, everywhere, can relate to.
Yeah, today's country might have pop beats, rock guitars, even hip-hop collaborations. It sounds different for sure, but it's not really new. It's just the next chapter in that same long story of evolution we've been talking about. So what's the most important message here? It's this. Country music is a constantly evolving story of real life told by rebels, superstars, and just some incredible, incredible musicians. It's not a museum piece. It's a living, breathing thing.
I mean, think about it. It went from quiet hillsides to the radio waves, fought a war for its own soul on the pop charts, and now it's global. It's always adapted. So that brings us to the big question. What do you think is next? Where does this epic story go from here?